Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I've got the Sony WX220 point and shoot camera that I want to review for you. Sorry that this is in the car, on the road kind of video. It's not the most professional video in the world, but I wanted to do a quick review of this camera. Now, I am shooting this entirely in the movie mode with this camera, with the audio from this camera. So just to give you kind of an idea of how it works. I actually am somewhat impressed with the video mode on this camera, but I'm very disappointed in the still mode on this camera. Let me just give you a little background on why I got this and why I'm doing this video now. I bought this because I am on vacation and I attended a few events this week, and some of the venues wouldn't let me take my quote-unquote professional camera in, even though I met the lens length requirements and everything else. They told me my camera looked too professional and I couldn't take it into the venue. Different venues have different restrictions. What irritated me though was I got in there and I saw plenty of people with professional cameras who were not there officially photographing the event, but I tried 3 different lines to get in with my camera and I got kicked back 3 times. So I ended up taking it back to the hotel and I ran down to Best Buy and I bought this camera. Now, the reason why I'm disappointed with this camera is because it does a very poor job, in my opinion, of still shots, especially with any kind of high ISO, which is to be expected with a point-and-shoot camera. But this camera, the reason why I got it was it claims to have a 12,800 ISO shooting range. So since it's a Sony camera, I kind of thought, all right, maybe it's going to hold up halfway decent. The problem is you don't have very much control in your shooting modes with this particular camera. There is no manual shooting mode. The highest ISO that I can manually set the camera to is 3200. The only way that I could get it to go into the 12,000 range was if I was in a night portrait mode, and then the camera would automatically set the ISO, but it would only go up to the 12,000 range whenever it was shooting at like 1/8 of a second. Which meant if there was any movement whatsoever in the picture, just people just walking, it would create a severe amount of blur. At ISO even 400, this thing did a very poor job. It was just very frustrating because I like to take control of my camera and shoot manually. Any relatively low lit situation, it did terrible. Shooting outside in the sun, it was okay. The autofocus was relatively fast. But this camera, it's great because it is incredibly small. So if you want something that can fit in your pocket and you can forget about, this camera is pretty good. But it's only got a 10x zoom, which is rather small these days for point and shoots, because you've got a lot of ultra zooms coming out. Even other very small cameras are putting out twice as much zoom as this. Now, it does have a digital zoom feature. Your optical zoom is 10. It'll digitally zoom up to 40. Which does give you an incredible reach, but the quality once you get past the optical zoom is terrible. You can take a look at this picture, this series of pictures here. This is on the wide end. The second picture is the optical zoom, and the last picture is at the full 40x digital zoom range. Not horrible, but that was a ton of light up here at Levi Stadium, and not the best. As far as features in this camera, it doesn't have a lot of the whiz-bang cool stuff that a lot of Sony cameras can do these days. It does have a panorama mode, which is fun to play with, but it gets old quickly. The image stabilization I thought worked pretty well, especially in the video mode. I really think this thing kind of stands out for its video capabilities for being as small as what it is. You can see here I was zoomed all the way in from a long way, and the video wasn't horrible. This was all handheld, and I don't have very steady hands, and I think it does an okay job of recording audio. So like I said, if you want something you can throw in your pocket, go on vacation with, yes, this is a great camera. But if you want to do anything indoors with any kind of low light situation, kids awards ceremony, anything like that, this camera is going to give you fits because it does such a poor job in any kind of low light situation. The zoom range on it isn't that great, and you just really don't have very much control. So I am actually returning this back to Best Buy right now. I got to use it for 2 days, and like I said, I wasn't expecting a lot from it for being a point and shoot, but I don't like it. Oh, one of the other things that I don't like about it is because it is so small, there's very few buttons on the back of the camera, It's very frustrating because anytime you want to change anything, you've got to go into the menu systems and make changes, and the buttons are very small, and for me that was very frustrating and made it very difficult to use. So I don't personally recommend this lens for very many people, or this camera for very many people, but if you want ultra compact, this is probably a good way to go. But if you want any kind of good image quality, there's a lot better cameras out there. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.